Service delivery has been in sharp focus in Ekurhuleni. You'd remember last year, for example, in October, the Freedom Front Plus saying that the Metro won't be able to execute the first phase of service delivery, which includes, security as well as cleaning services. At the same time, there were also protests in KwaThema where residents were demanding services. The city now says it is looking into some of these service delivery concerns to ensure that residents do have their issues addressed. So now let's speak to the mayor of Ekurhuleni, Nkosindiphile Xhakaza, who joins us in studio. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Let's just start with your priorities as you look at, addressing some of the concerns that the residents have been raising over time. What would you say are your two?
Well, we delivered our State of the Cities address last week, and we pronounced, 6, key priorities. Because we believe the city has got great plans. Successive leadership, Mayor Mundli, great plans, Mayor Masina, great plans. And where we are, really, we need to take those plans forward.
And Mayor Campbell?
You would know some of the challenges, 2021, non-responsive to township issues in the main, no clear plan. But really our focus is that we must firstly ensure that there is a provision of sustainable and quality services to all residents, and that we do focus on the issues of repairs and maintenance, and that we look at the financial positioning of the city so that we're able to continue to render services. And importantly, we invite the private sector on infrastructure development to partner with us. Because where we do not have money, we have the land. There's various mechanisms for us to deliver services, but also the issue of the economy. We are a city in Gauteng. We must create an enabling environment for investors, including SMMEs, job creations and all that. The issue of the metropolis, for the longest time, there's not been an articulation, and we need to give certainty to industry that we are driving a metropolis, and most importantly, the issues around clean audit. But we think for us to drive really a responsive and not only responsive, but with the necessary agency, we had to launch the war room, and really we're looking at the system, because we've got great systems. Our service delivery model, well designed, but we need leadership to actually drive and ensure that the issues that community pick up from time to time, as they get reported in case management system, we actually look at those issues and ensure that they are resolved.
I'm going to get to that in just a moment, but would you say that you're in a better financial position now?
Well, look, we must municipalities across, there's a constraint in terms of collection. We're pressed because, the areas we must collect from communities. They must pay for electricity that they are consuming, water services, the waste that we're collecting. And if there's challenges, for instance, in the electricity provision, some of the outages due to load shedding, it does impact on the planned revenues. Because once industries, they are not, their productions are affected, it does affect the planned revenues. But what we must look at is how much are we able to collect from those who are able to pay, and how to optimize the utilization of that money so that we use it where it matters most.
And would you say that that is at the heart of maybe why you're paying Eskom late? And I'm saying this because we spoke to the Gauteng spokesperson of Eskom, who was saying that, of course, it was about the city of Johannesburg and its problems, but she was raising a concern about the 3 metros in Gauteng and saying that Ekurhuleni is paying late. So would you say that the reason you also paying late is also because you're struggling to collect from some of those who should be paying, or what's going on?
Where we're sitting now, we can confirm that the Eskom's account to the city are paid. They're up to date. Of course, there is an issue around the payment terms. You would know Eskom, they want us to pay them in 15 days. But we collect from residents in areas. Sometimes, if you look at our age analysis, it goes 30 days, 90 days. Some communities, really, we have to enforce control and even switch them off, which results in service delivery protest. We're in Tembisa yesterday, you would know some of the issues there, because of course the economic conditions, our communities are unemployed and all that. But also the entire model in terms of how we generate revenue as municipalities is something that that we really need to engage into the future so that you know, service provision is sustainable.
Mayor, how do you begin to contend with that? Because, I mean, the fact that people, some of them are not in a position to pay, and they say we don't have jobs, others are saying that the economy is not doing well, but at the same time you have to function as the city. So how do you contend with this?
Well, I mean, let those who are able to pay, and then there is various you know, social packages to relieve those who are not able to pay. I mean, there is you know, national policies, the indigent, which we must design so that sorry, it is responsive to our communities. You know, you take care of the poorest of the poor, but even those who can afford, because their income, you know, they basically struggle to afford. You know, the bill. I mean, there's other programs that the rehabilitation that we have to put to ensure that as communities incur debt, how do we meet them halfway? But as I've said it, I mean, at the end of the day, we do need a conversation on the table to say how do, I mean, provinces, they get their money from the national allocation, national fiscus, but we have to really encourage our communities to pay, but we need the industry, you know, to a greater extent so that they're able to carry the city forward. So
I'm sure you saw these reports in the city press that was suggesting, for example, that municipal call center agents share 10 computers, and this is about 40 of them, and some only use laptops for 3 hours, and then they have to share with their colleagues within a 12-hour shift cycle. And these are call center agents who are key when it comes to taking calls from distressed communities or who are looking to be able to assist them with some service delivery issues. Firstly, is that true, and how are you dealing with it?
Well, we can confirm. I mean, on this week we paid a visit to all our call centers, and we can confirm that they are well, you know, resourced to actually take the calls, ensure that they register those calls. Of course, importantly, they service our community with a smile. The Pili principles. I mean, we have to look at that aspect as well, and that. You know,
but do they have enough computers?
They do.
Okay.
At this point in time, we can confirm to you that every agent, in fact, we've got about 44 agents, but every shift we've got about 28, depending whether it's peak or it's off-peak. But what is more important to our communities is that we must confirm that the call center is, you know, well-resourced, and what is important is that we've launched now the war room to actually ensure that the cases that are reported, there is a process where we exercise leadership, that as the calls get registered, we dispatch the necessary engineer, and those engineers, they do attend to the calls before they close them. Because one of the limitations is that engineers that are out there, they do whatever, and we must actually ensure that those cases are closed and the quality is not compromised.
So one then asks, and I'm sure you wouldn't blame them if they ask you this question. The residents of Ekurhuleni are watching you, they're listening to these plans, you've got war rooms and all of that. But how long then do they see you in office, given the instability that they see in council? And they say that we don't know if maybe come next month you'll still be the mayor to carry out some of the plans you're talking about.
Well, tomorrow we're a month in office. We've done you know, State of the City's address. We've pronounced our priorities. We've launched the war room where we've got all the senior officials, including the city manager, accounting, you know, on the incidents. Why are we not able to clear a sewer blockage that has been reported? Why are we not able to deal with the sewer leak? Why that pothole is not closed? And that is fundamental, because weekly we must ensure that we institutionalize that type of discipline, that it becomes a new culture that is understood, that, you know, we have to get you know, the city forward. We're encouraged
but they will say that there's been instability in council,
well, the fact that
and
we're
they
elected,
may not trust that you are there for long enough to be able to carry out your vision. So how do you respond to someone who's watching us?
We were elected by council unopposed. I'm using we because I believe in collective wisdom. We were elected by council unopposed, which is, you know, it has never happened. Yeah. And 224 councillors, 16 political parties in the period of elections. We take courage from that gesture. We think through consultations, there will be, I mean, also when we deliver you know, to that which we've committed to our people. There will be no reason really that we've got vast experience. The party I come from, that is the ANC, its collective wisdom, great plans on the table. We really have to put our foot on the table and ensure that we deliver to our people.
So
we think the next
mustn't worry, there will be stability in council.
I consult with residents every day. Today we were in KwaThema taking back the transformer which was, you know, banned about a year ago, and we're interfacing with our communities. They're quite excited. Next week we're going to Ekurhuleni to deal with the sewer problems there. We're going to Tsakane to deal with the reservoirs and also interface with rainwater to ensure that you know, where they have to do their part, we in fact strengthen the stakeholder relations, make sure that there is communication. That other week we're going to KwaThema, but of course we must service also the suburbia, just to ensure that service delivery is delivered across the city of Ekurhuleni.
Mayor, we're out of time for now, but I do hope we speak again to take stock as to where you are with some of these priorities as then you continue to work with different communities. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Mayor of Ekurhuleni, Nkosindiphile Xhakaza.